Here are three stocks that I think are about to explode. So the first one is Tesla. Tesla's already running, but I believe it's got a lot more left in the tank. So whenever Tesla takes off, we normally have some type of compression period, right? A pennant pattern, which we just had over here. So check. It breaks out and then it normally consolidates after that initial move and gets ready for the second big move coming through. And the 10 EMA is normally where the buyers step in. So now that Tesla has broken out really nicely out of this pennant pattern, rinse and repeat, we are consolidating really nicely. It is possible that this just takes off, but you can see my alert right here. If Tesla can work its way back into the 10 EMA, this would be a great place to add into some more. I'm already in this from over here a few weeks ago. If you're not in this, the 10 EMA might be a great place to start looking at and considering where these bulls could be at, because I believe Tesla's got to move up to all-time high around 500, maybe even higher than that though. And we'll see if this thing wants to keep on moving pretty hard. It could just be taken off without us, but I'm going to bet that we're going to have some type of consolidation, a retest to the 10, and then a move higher. The next one that I'm really interested in is AMD. So AMD has been consolidating really nicely after a strong breakout. Now, we just put in a double top here on a daily time frame and we broke lower, but this is what I love about price action. It gives me a really good clue of where that strength is. So bears should be all over this double top neckline right here. And instead, we had a huge gap down, great for the bears, and it got bought up hard. This big bull candle on big volume is telling me that the bears are not doing what they should be doing. So if we can start getting moves up above 162.50, I believe all the bears that got in here are going to start to exit, and this is going to squeeze out. If we go to a weekly time frame, it also looks like this is just trying to put in a nice S-curve right here. So everything is pointing bullish on this if we can get that daily closure above 160, 162 area. So I'm keeping a very close eye out here for AMD because, again, I think a move into all-time highs would make total sense, which brings us into that like 230-ish range, 228 range, and there's a lot left to go on this. And so we've made a big move. Now we've pulled back. Now it's consolidating. Nice hammer on a weekly time frame. This is all shaping up for the bulls to really come back through pretty strong if they can claim the ground that they gave up over here. So again, that 162 mark, put a line in the sand right there. Let's see if these bulls can close that. If they do, I would expect some strong squeezes. So the last ticker here is going to be coin. Again, same type of pattern on a weekly time frame. You want to try to find this pattern right here, my friends, the S-curve pattern. The market's moving an S-curve like this, right? Nice big move like that. So as we're pushing around and it comes back down, we've claimed new grounds with these new highs. Very strong. That looks really good. Now we've pulled back down. We've had an area where the bears have taken back over, right? They've pushed us lower, pushed us lower, pushed us lower, strong close. And now we have claimed this resistance here. So this now should be a support. So currently we are gapping right back into this support. I would bet that some bulls are going to be here to push us back up higher. Now the first area that's going to be a little bit tough for these bulls is going to be this gap fill area. So I would look for some profit taking to be found around 375 area. So if the bulls do step in around 330 and push it higher, look for 375 to be a decent target for it to maybe push back down. And then it's just a game of, will these bulls step back in? So if we get some price action like this, will we come back in and make a higher low to push up? If that happens, I would say all-time highs are coming back into play here on coin. So again, these are three tickers that I really like, and every single one of those you need to know where you're wrong. And so for coin, if we get daily closures below 310, I would say that invalidates this setup. The bulls did not do their job. Cut, reduce your risk. On AMD, if we get a close below 150, the bulls did not do their job. That invalidates this setup. Take the time off, reduce it. You don't need to wait and see what's going to happen. You already know the bulls didn't do their job. Cut, loose, small. And then on Tesla, this is a harder one because even if this thing pulls all the way back down into 360, it is still valid. And that's what makes it tough trading up here. So you're really going to have to pay attention to your risk and mitigate it as best as you can. I prefer options for that mitigation risk because I can control my risk without actually having to have a stop in place because I can spend whatever I'm okay to lose, right? And so on options, you can only lose whatever that option costs. And so if you kind of set yourself up that way, you can kind of let it do its thing as long as you give it enough time. And so I would highly recommend those TSLL calls options instead of Tesla. They're a lot cheaper and they can help you navigate that risk a little bit more, since this one is extended, but it still does have a really high probability of running. So it's a little bit tough, but technically we are still valid, and this bull move is still valid even up above 325. So those are a few tickers that I'm looking at that could be very explosive and have some awesome returns here over the next month or so.